hell's wrong with you, man? Can't you tell what I'm doing? I'm playing Shumanji.
What the hell, man? Nate, what are you doing over there? Hey, you brought me over here, I set up this game for us, and you're not even playing it. Get over here, take the dice, take your freaking turn.
Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. This was developed by Gearbox Studios and published by 2K and just released on March 25th of 2022 on every single system imaginable except Nintendo Switch. It's just easier to say it that way. Now, what exactly is this game? I think most of you people actually know going into this what you're going to be getting with this package. It is considered a complete successor to the Borderlands 2 Assault on Dragon Keep. So if you played that, but I think that was one of the free games of the PlayStation Plus like a month or two ago. And honestly, you get the basic idea what it is. It's a comical spin-off of the Borderlands universe. Now, once again, you played Borderlands, so you kind of know what you're getting with this. You can play either as solo or with up to 3 other players as you go through the game world. Like I said, it is Borderlands, but just with a graphical overhaul in terms of the way the levels look and the twist of the gameplay. Now, as for how it basically plays just like a standard Borderlands game, but with some interesting additions to it that I'll get into. Now, first up, I believe this is the first in the series that you can actually have a create a player. At the start of the game, it'll allow you to create a player, and while it's not the most deepest and robust create a player, it's decent enough to where you can make something somewhat unique, even though technically, you never get to see your character, just people that play with you do. Really, that's the best way to describe it. Honestly, it's the first in the series of not just picking a pre-made character, you actually get to make your own, which is a nice little twist, a nice little differentiating thing. But to me, it's not really anything all that special since it's first person. You never get to see your own character. Now, the other thing is there are 6 different classes that you can pick in this game that pretty much have your skills that you can mix or match to actually apply different abilities to your character, which is a welcome addition to it as well. It makes it where you can mix things up with your character builds. And as you progress through, since this is almost sort of like an RPG style game, even though, once again, it's just Borderlands, but with, I'm going to say it's Borderlands with a story and reskin to it, really. You get hero points as you level up that you can use to upgrade your stats of your character. Now, for a first time in the series, you also have a melee weapon, and you can actually get different melee weapons throughout the game. And they focus on it so heavily that it even has its own slot in your inventory and everything. That way, they want you to focus on the melee weapon, which you can use to smash boxes, kill enemies, and do other stuff as well. So the melee weapon is a welcome addition to this. I think the last times you could just like kick and punch. This time you have a weapon. Now, the other thing is you no longer have grenades in this. A lot of people were kind of upset with that because, you know, even though it's technically a spin-off of Borderlands 3, they got rid of the grenades. You no longer have grenades, but now you have different magic abilities that you have that are set to a cooldown, and naturally these magic, you have different spells that can do anything from summoning little enemy buddies to help you, from turning the enemies into sheep or mushroom creatures, or like making them get frozen, explode them, lightning, fire, you know, basically a bunch of different magic spells, which are pretty pretty cool. A nice change of pace, a little bit of a different taste to the swing of the game. And the thing I noticed with the game world, it's kind of odd the way this one's set up. There are 5 main story maps that are interconnected in a giant open world game, and each one has their own narrative. They're almost like a different story as you're playing through. Tiny Tina is the dungeon master, so to say, and she's creating these stories for you and your characters to go through and fight these bad guys and do these certain missions. And it is all over, interwoven into one main story arc, but each of the 5 different story maps that you go through has a different game you're playing, a different narrative, a different story that you're dealing with, with different bosses and enemies and stuff like that. Like I said, now here's the thing about this game. It plays really nice. When you first start up, you have nice little set of options if you want to run it in a more high fidelity mode or a higher resolution mode. I picked fidelity for a higher frame rate, a better constant stable frame rate. And it does link up and also has crossplay, which you can enable at the very beginning once you log in and sign in and give away your life to 2K, as they have all those certain things you have to click on that you agree with. But other than that, it is basically just like Borderlands. It naturally has the randomly generated loot. The worlds themselves aren't randomly generated, but the loot and the gear is, of course, which has always been a mainstay in every Borderlands game. I find it to be a little bit funner with the overall story arc and how the levels are changed up so much drastically with the narrative of Tiny Tina constantly talking. But, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great game, okay? It's not a perfect game. It still suffers from several of the problems that Borderlands 3 has, with certain texture issues, graphical glitches, and some gameplay problems. It's still a totally well-built, polished game that's totally playable, but if you're expecting a massive jump up from Borderlands 3, no, this is not going to be it. This is the best way to describe it, is it's Borderlands 3.5, set in a mythical universe of Tiny Tina, as you're playing basically Dungeons and Dragons with her, or as they like to call it, what's that? Bunkers and badasses. That's right, bunkers and badasses. Like I said, the weapons all handle great. They play great. But once again, there's lots of guns, lots of shooting, lots of magic spells and stuff like that. And I think the best part of this game, honestly, to me, has to be the overarching story. And even though I think Tiny Tina has a little bit too much commentary along with the rest of the group, where they're constantly talking like, almost like playing a Dungeons and Dragons game. It's like, as you progress up the keep, these demons attack you, and you will have to fight them off and save the people, So it is like that. I just kind of wish it was more like a Dungeons and Dragons game, because to me, this comes off as just, like I said, a reskin version of Borderlands. Almost like an expansion, even though this is a standalone game because of the size of it. It is $60 full price game for this if you get it on PS4. I think it's $70 if you get on PS5. Honestly, it's a fun, frantic game. It plays really good. I have had some issues with the online mode, with it signing me in and out of their online mode every so often, which, like I said, can be kind of annoying. But considering this game just came out, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why, is because the sheer amount of people who are trying to play online right now at the moment. It is funner with friends. The voice chat works very well, and you can have it set to where you can either all get loot or you can all try to steal loot from each other. Like I said, it's just like playing the other Borderlands game, but set in more of a fantasy setting with fantasy enemies and magic thrown into the mix. I like it. I do think it is a fun game and good, and I can recommend it, but just please keep in mind, like I said before, it is basically Borderlands true and true. Even though it's got this visage of being from a Dungeons and Dragons game that Tiny Tina is playing with you guys, and it cuts back and forth to you seeing the characters that are actually playing the game. true and true, it is nothing more than a reskin of Borderlands 3. And that's not a bad thing. It does add some new stuff, like I said. The character creation system is a first, the same as the melee weapon, which is a nice addition. I just kind of wish that they would have added a little bit more to this than what they did. But in the end, I digress. It's still a decent game. It's a fun game. It plays very well. And so far, I'm having a lot more fun with it than I would with Borderlands 3. I think it's because of the story. It's quite a funny story. And the voice acting from all the cast is phenomenal. So, can I recommend you buy this? Yes, I can. Just don't expect it to be something drastically different from the original Borderlands trilogy, because in the end, to me, it just comes off as a reskin with a couple new additional things added to it. But at the end, it's still a good game. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Please leave in the comments below if you feel if I've missed anything on this game, if there's anything you'd like to talk about. Do you agree or disagree with this review? What is your favorite class that you played as in this game? And leave lots and lots of comments so I can answer each and every single one of them. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.